just a disaster waiting to happen.
A lot of congestion, kids running here and there, not watching for traffic, a lot of the teenagers speeding down Ohio Street.
A secure entrance to a building is now the standard, and it's unfortunate we live in that kind of a time, but it's the reality and it's what we have to do to protect our kids.
We all have very strong feelings about this community and what a great community it is, and we want what's best for our kids. And I think the condition of the elementary building is not what's best for kids right now.
So our elementary is the perfect example. We have 11 boilers in a building that should have 2.
The average boiler is like 32 years of age, and boiler life is normal about 20 years.
They're old box-style boilers. They're small. They're not very efficient. They are expensive to maintain and operate.
They're obsolete. I've looked for motors that would make them work. Obsolete. Blowers, everything that I'm looking for is obsolete. The cost alone to maintain these things is astronomical.
Every one of those 11 boilers has to be inspected annually. That comes with a permit cost times 11. Everyone has to be tore down, cleaned, and reassembled after inspected. And the efficiency is just not there. So that causes uneven heating throughout the building. So we have hot and cold spots, and it's costly to operate, both to maintain and just the gas that's going through it. It's like driving a car that gets bad mileage. It costs a lot more to get where you're going.
It's expensive when you got to go out and take parts out. In one area, we had to cannibalize 3 boilers to keep the other 5 running. So that's how bad a situation we are. And it's going to get to the point where we're not going to be able to do that anymore.
The biggest concerns with our drop-off and pickup routines are the mixing of cars and kids. So currently we do not have parking spaces on the elementary side of Ohio Street. So people are crossing Ohio Street, and all of our buses go down Ohio Street. So we mix buses, kids, and cars on a daily basis.
It's pretty hard to get in on Ohio Street. There's lots of backups when they try to drop their kids off at the elementary.
Kids cross between parked cars, they cross between parked buses in the morning, and again, that's a recipe for an accident. This new parking plan separates the buses from the cars and creates a drop-off lane at the elementary and then one at the middle school, high school locations, so kids get out at the curb and do not have to wander across Ohio Street or through a parking lot to get to school.
I think the congestion would come down quite a bit coming onto Ohio Street. I think the safety of the children would be the #1 pro for this to go through, and hopefully get better traffic flow.
We're replacing rooms that were built in 1949 when 1 electrical outlet per room was a standard. Today that's nowhere near the standard of a 2019 classroom. We're upgrading the carpet. There are cracks in the floors and in the walls.
In the summer it's extremely hot. In the winter it gets extremely cold. I think the windows don't have good seals. When it gets breezy outside, our shades will, blow in the breeze.
Our teachers have done a great job of compensating for old rooms. They've used throw rugs to hide bad spots in floors. They've gotten very creative with power cords and extension cords.
And just the size of the room. The room's fairly small. We condense a lot of things into a small space, so sometimes noise is even a factor. The kids are just doing what kids do, but because of the close proximity, it gets pretty noisy in here.
In 2006, the district built 2 new kindergarten classrooms. They are the model for what we're doing with these 6 new rooms. They're larger, they're more spacious, so kids can move around, move in centers. It supports a really good educational learning environment. The current elementary playground structures are only meeting code because they're grandfathered in, and most of the equipment is built before the playground code structure existed. Moving it to the better location and then upgrading it to meet the code that is currently there is not cheap, but it'll be a much safer and better play environment. 4 rooms were dramatically flooded as a result of roof problems that would be fixed as part of this effort. We need to upgrade our secure entrances to the level that meets the standard and best protects our kids from any outside threats that we would face. A 1 mil increase equates to $40 a year on a house worth $40,000. That equates to a nickel a day.
I think that the safety of the children, whether you have kids or not have kids, is a huge issue, and if we can do something to make it safer for them, I would say go for it.
In 5 years, with the passage of this bond, we will have an early educational center on the southwest corner of our elementary. We will have a preschool daycare rooms available with before and after school daycare for parents, rooms that have electrical outlets to support the technology that we have in today's classroom. We will have a classroom learning environment with a consistent heat, roofs that we don't have to worry about leaking, and knowing that if they do, they're covered by warranty.
All of us who work here care about these kids like they're our own, and we want the best for them. We have some really great kids and some really great families, and they deserve the best.
The viability of our school system is at risk with not passing this bond. We're going to struggle to compete with our neighbors if we're spending money on boilers and not on kids. So it's your property values, your businesses are tied right in with the school system. You can look in the state of Michigan's communities that have lost their local school have really suffered. So looking at it from the small amount that we're asking for over a 25-year period has a great impact for both our kids, but also for our community.